it's hard when you don't get the time to do the things you gotta do. Always moving forward, always on the go. I hope you take a moment to take it slow. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Let me be the
So we let the glue dry for 24 hours. Now it's time to lay out where the handle is going to go. So we're going to mark off the center.
It'll be okay. Let me be the one to ease your pain.
So what I've laid out on the bow so far, we got a 12-inch handle section, 6-foot long piece of wood, so we marked from the center, 6 inches to either side. Now here for the tips, we're gonna go just over 5/8 of an inch. We're basically gonna do a taper from the tip all the way to just before the handle would begin to fade.
To comprehend. It's a long night. Say goodbye, then hello. We came here from nowhere, going towards the unknown. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Baby, take a break.
There's our profile.
It'll be okay.
Pretty difficult to try and get an even line all the way down, but that T-square works pretty good. Okay, now time to cut it out. So I'd say this is the most difficult part in terms of cutting. I got this bandsaw just for this purpose, but the blade here is a little flimsy. It's like a 3-foot long band. And so while cutting hardwood and bamboo glued together, this blade will have a tendency to want to walk. So it's really hard to try and get, we're cutting about a 2.5-foot straight line. We're trying to be real precise and make this symmetrical. It's difficult. Also, we got a little bit of a rounded face that we're working with because the bamboo's round. So this is always a little interesting how it's going to go. I try to cut a little outside of the line to give myself some margin because I can always take more wood off. You can never put it back on. Try and increase the tension on that saw blade because this is walking a bunch.
about this or hear this, that you used to go up on Mulholland Drive and park
every night.
and visualize seeing yourself as...
Yeah, I would visualize,
This is when you were broke and poor.
You know, right, having directors interested in me and people that I respected saying, you know, I like your work or whatever that is, and I would visualize things coming to me that I wanted or whatever. Drive home and think, well, I do have these things. They're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there. I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years, or 3 years maybe, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. Just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was to make $10 million.
So if you notice, that is not very straight. We're gonna be doing a lot of work to try and even this sucker out. We'll get it there. But if you were to try and take that off by hand, ridiculous amount of work. Ridiculous amount of work. So just evening that up. I got this. Now the other thing is that this is the current thickness of the bow. That is way too thick. We might get it down to where it's only bamboo by the time we get down to this tip. I'm gonna try and keep it from getting down that thick, but or thin. But that is very thick bamboo there towards the middle. Compare that to this end. Not near as thick, the bamboo piece. All right, now it is time to rough out the shape of the bow, and we're going to try to even out the mistakes that I made with the bandsaw. So if you can tell, we got some pretty significant flaws that we're gonna need to fix. We want this thing to be totally even and symmetrical. Look at how bad this one is. Right here. So we got some work to do, and the tool of choice is this bad boy. It's called a Shinto rasp. And basically what it is, if you can tell, is a bunch of bandsaw blades that are welded together. And they make a real good cutting surface. Take off a lot of wood really fast. Check it out. So like on this one, I don't know if you can tell these sort of burn spots are where the blade's stuck in to the stave here. And watch, this is like a planer slash rasp, so it's gonna flatten everything out as we go along the surface. That's enough for roughing out the sides for now. Next thing I'll do is I'll attach this handle section, and then we will work on the profile. Once that profile is done, we can clean up the sides again. So now I'm picking sections for the handle wood. Here you see that we can pick ones that have sort of a fun, cool grain pattern to them. This is more birch wood, but it's got these interesting burls in it. And this is where you can kind of pick some fancy stuff. It doesn't need to be perfectly straight grain. You can do the exact opposite, make it just look neat. This grain down here is a little bit more boring, so I was gonna make this the bottom section. And then I'm gonna double them up, and I'll use a piece off of this burly end to be the outermost handle where you get the most contours and you'll see the most of it. So we're gonna stack two sections of handle on top of one another. And then they're stepped because we're going to fade in to the thickness of the bow at an angle here. So we'll have that width of a grip. That's the idea, and we'll fade in.